Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well this Sunday evening. Today we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart. We're going to look at what we can, anticipate for this week, what to look out for. It's Sunday evening, so it's always good to kind of get a grasp of where we're at and where we may be heading. So without further ado, guys, let's dive right into the charts. Okay guys, so right now we're looking at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, and what we're going to do now is we're going to zoom in and kind of take a look at the most recent price action. So right now we're in this support and resistance area. So support here, resistance here, support here, and we're kind of just fluctuating in between support and resistance for this price action right now. So what do I see right now is really just consolidation. There's nothing telling us that we're going to increase or decrease in the price action right now for Bitcoin. The only thing we can say is we are above the 200-day moving average on the 1 hour, and that's really it. We moved up and have consolidated, so if we do break out to the upside, that would be great for the Bitcoin price, but there's nothing for us to indicate that we are going to be heading further down. The only up or down, the only thing that's showing any type of indicator that we may move down from consolidation is that we just have this point, this area of weakness right here. So the price action did break below. So it did break below right here, this support and resistance, this consolidation zone. So that's the only thing really showing that the price is showing any type of weakness, but it's not enough for me to actually say, hey, we're going to be heading further down. If we drag our point A to point B and a counter trend line, this could be point A and point B. So it could be considered that we have a bit of negative air, but right now I don't see anything indicating to us that we're going to head up bullish or bearish. Now, if we go back to the daily time frame, what I do see on the daily time frame is the price. This is a lot of volume here, so the candle broke out with a lot of volume candles. So all I can really see, guys, is if we do get back to this area, there's a good chance it might get supported. Now again, the only concern for me is how the VIX and the 10 versus 2 year is moving, and that there could be some type of drastic pullback as the S&P is coming down. And because Bitcoin is such a small asset and cryptocurrency as a whole is such a small asset class, it could definitely bring down the price of cryptocurrency. And we did see this right before the halving in 2019 or 2020. So you guys will want to consider that again. So nothing bearish looking at Bitcoin. We're looking for the price to come down here, or if we break this high tomorrow, then you would look for a buy on the break and a pullback of this area right here. So let me zoom back in so you can see on the 1 hour time frame here, if we did have a break up here, we would look for just a retest, back to the support zone, or if the price action creates its own support, then that's when we get into the price. So with that being said, guys, for Bitcoin, that is what we're looking at. So for Bitcoin, that is what we're looking at. So let's look at the USDT dominance. So again, the USDT dominance shows us between altcoins, Bitcoin, so all the cryptocurrencies versus USDT. So whenever USDT dominance is going down, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are increasing in price. And when USDT dominance is going up, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are going or have a higher probability of decreasing. So you guys want to consider that. So right now what we see is we have we're right here at the support area for the USDT dominance. So it is still fluctuating in between the support and resistance area. Now if we break, so on the daily, so if we start breaking this low right here, so if we break this area right here in the next day or two, that does increase the probabilities for the USDT dominance to keep on heading down. So we do really want to consider that as we are trading and investing. And if we put point A to point B, so let's say this is our point A and this is our point B, it does show some negative negative air, right? So this counter trend line has been broken, so it does indicate to us that, hey, there is more weakness than strength. So for it to break down, yeah, it has a higher probability, right? So just consider that as you guys are trading and investing. Let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum looking bullish, guys. We have, like I said, we were looking to break above these highs, which I've drawn. So we broke above these highs, and now we have this bullish engulfing candle that was created on the daily. And now we're just looking to start continuing up. So this is a good sign for Ethereum. Yeah, so this is actually a pretty good sign for Ethereum. The price action was looking bearish, but as Bitcoin has been increasing, Ethereum and some other cryptocurrencies have been moving bullish. So let's look at the S&P 500. So we did cover the S&P 500, guys, so not too much more to talk about, just lower lows, lower highs. Price is moving further down, so it is just moving further down. Nothing really else to consider. I am anticipating more of a pullback for the S&P 500 as we've covered it yesterday. So if we go over the macro indicators, now the VIX is looking bullish, guys. So for me, that's my real concern, is if the VIX is looking bullish, Bitcoin, the S&P can have a much steeper pullback. And if we could look at our BLX here, guys, if we look at the BLX, let's look at the BLX. Boom. And let's go all the way back to 2019, 2020. So this was 2019 toward 2020, beginning of 2020, March. We had this surge in price. The price was pushing up, we had this nice push up. Let me go to log scale. And guys, when you're trading cryptocurrencies, you do want to maybe use a log scale because it moves so exponentially, so you can get a better view of the price action and actually chart a lot better and more accurately. Okay, so here the price action pushed all the way up, and then we had this pullback, right? We had this pullback in the price all the way here right before the halving. So it's not outlandish to think that we can have a massive drop before we head up into our next bull, the last phases of the bull run, or the second half of the bull run, right? So you guys really want to consider that, is that right before the halving last year, or 2019, in the last cycle, we had this massive pullback. And over here, if we look at this cycle was a lot more smooth. This cycle was a lot more smooth, but we did have our pullbacks. But again, Bitcoin wasn't as mature as it is now. So we just want to consider that as we're investing in trading. But yeah, definitely something to consider, because the VIX is looking like it's ready to springboard up. Realistically, guys, it's looking like it's ready to move up. 10 versus 2 year, again, looking like it's ready to head a lot higher. It's looking like it's ready to uninvert. And we know shortly after the uninversion, the prices do come down. And we do have, either a bear market, continued bear market, or, a steep just correction in the price. The DXY, market structure wise, guys, looking bullish. Haven't really touched the chart much, haven't changed it. This is how you guys trade, right? Is you want to look at the price action. You shouldn't be adding crazy lines every day, especially when it comes to the daily, weekly, and monthly. Is that we've left these lines here, saw our points where the price can be supported and resisted, and then you take your trades accordingly. It takes some time, man. It takes some time. So be kind to yourself and just keep working at it day by day. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to, guys, I'm gonna put on the S&P 500. I'm gonna put on the S&P 500. Let me log scale this. So let me get the S&P 500 on the daily time frame. So maybe I'll do weekly time frame. and I'm going to place Bitcoin and just kind of give you guys an idea of Okay, so just give you guys kind of an idea of exactly what I mean by. Let me see. Let me put the BLX because that gives us some more price history. Okay, so we got to compare market cycles to market cycles. So, well, I'm not going to consider this drop because this was the bear market. So this would have been this over here, right? So this drop, boom, that's where when the market continued to fall. And you can see we had this drop as well. The market continued to push down, but what I want you guys to consider is, yes, we are having this inversion with the Bitcoin and the S&P 500. However, when the prices were dropping, when we were right here, prices dropped. So did Bitcoin, and this was the bull market started already, right? So the bull market was started already. And what I want you guys to consider is, if you look at this area here, we had a decrease in price right here, right? We had a decrease in price right here. So this was about a %7 decrease. So 7% decrease, and Bitcoin kept rising, right? So it kept rising. It kept rising. We started having a pullback as the S&P 500 was increasing. But once we had that massive drop, Bitcoin also capitulated as well. People sold as well. So just because you have a pullback in the market and there's a bit of divergence, it doesn't mean if the market continues to fall that Bitcoin's not going to continue to fall. So these divergences are normal. Like, it's not, the markets aren't going to move always the same. So you can see the S&P 500 was moving up, but Bitcoin didn't move up until after. And then when the S&P was having 8% pullbacks, 5% pullbacks, Bitcoin was still moving up. Here we had a massive drop, 30%, 32%, and then Bitcoin dropped, COVID happened. But right now we're only at a 10% decrease, right? So I just want to have you guys put this into perspective, is that this is normal for Bitcoin to continue moving up while the S&P may have a pullback. It's not something that we haven't experienced before in the market. With that being said, guys, is that if the yields uninvert and the VIX looks like it's ready to head up, if the S&P 500 has a massive collapse, yeah, I would anticipate Bitcoin to have a massive pullback. So to help strengthen our position, we are going to wait until the halving to get into altcoins, just because it protects our downside. And that's really the most important thing, is, guys, trust me when I say protecting your downside. Keep your pants on, okay? That's all I have to say. Keep your pants on when you're in this market. You don't want to get caught with your pants down, because if you don't have a good sense of humor, everyone but yourself will be laughing, right? Okay, let me see if I can pull this up. Can I pull this up? Yes. Okay, so let's go further back. Let me see if I can go further back with this Bitcoin price. Okay. Sorry, my girlfriend is vacuuming in the background. Very grateful for her. Okay, so now let's look at this over here. So we have this divergence of price. Bitcoin is going down, the S&P 500 is rising. And then again, guys, again, S&P is down 9%, Bitcoin is rising. S&P is down 14%, Bitcoin is still rising. We have a bit pullback, but it continues to rise. So you guys want to consider this, is that there's no decoupling or anything, guys. It's just deciding at this moment they're not moving together. You know, earnings reports came out. People may be selling for tax purposes shortly because it's the end of the year, and maybe there's more holdings in the S&P than there is in Bitcoin. You know, just as well as the performance in the last year, there may not be a lot of nothing to sell, right? So you guys just want to consider that. But now over here, what happened over here and over here? COVID-19 happened. COVID-19 happened here, right? In the bull market, beginning of the bull market. So what I want you guys to consider is that we had COVID-19, but in this drop, not only did we have COVID-19, the yield curve inverted in 2019, and the VIX was looking very similar to how it was in 2019 as it is now. So you want to consider that we could have a larger pullback, more than 10%, more than 15%, and just consider that, hey, you know what, we could have a short pullback in the Bitcoin price. Not saying that it will happen, guys, but you just want to keep yourself equipped. Just some perspective I'd like to share with you guys. Again, if we just look at the market structure as it is, it looks fine. You know, let's go look at the 5-day chart. Do I have the 5-day here? Yep, let's look at the 5-day chart here. And if we look at the Gaussian channel, let's look at the Gaussian channel here, guys. Right now, the Gaussian channel is looking like a buy, right? It's looking like we are in the bull market. It has flashed green. And at any time we are over the Gaussian channel and the price is being supported and it's green, you know, the crypto Bitcoin moves up really fast, right? So over here, the Gaussian channel moved, it was green, boom, Bitcoin had its bull run. Right over here, the Gaussian channel came back down, well, yeah, was above the Gaussian channel, moved up very well, but then we came back into it, and then, you know, we had that steep correction. So let's actually look on the BLX. Because we have more price history. So yeah, so let's look here, guys. So you can see with the Gaussian channel on the 5-day time frame. Come on, Bitcoin, load. So you can see here the Gaussian channel showing whenever we were above the Gaussian channel, Bitcoin's price moved exponentially. So here, you know, we were in the smart money accumulation, boom, price continued to move extremely parabolic after. It was only this time here when the yield curve uninverted, we had that pullback, that massive pullback, right? So just consider that. But as a price action and everything goes, without looking macro, just on Bitcoin, well, we do look very good, guys. We're above the Gaussian channel. We tested it. We've come out of the Gaussian channel. We've broken these highs. We've broken this consolidation zone in here as well. So it is looking good for Bitcoin. I can't really dispute it just from looking at the technicals. The only consideration I would say is that watch the 10/2, and as well as pay attention to the VIX and the S&P 500. Because if the S&P 500 does see above the Gaussian channel, then we came underneath it, consolidated above, underneath it, consolidated, boom, underneath it, consolidated. Yeah, so that is basically, guys, you know, another bullish indicator for Bitcoin just from the chart perspective, right? So that's really it for today, guys. You know, enjoy. Tune in next time for another video of Bitcoin, the markets, altcoins, what's going on. You know, we'll be posting as much as we see fit here, you know, at least 3 times a week. And again, message me if there's any type of information you would like You know, whether you want me to look at an altcoin, another Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, stocks, commodities, I'm more than open to actually do an analysis to give you guys perspective of where I think the price may be heading. No specific price targets, but you know, I can, you know, give reasons for why I think a trend may be going a certain way. All right, so without further ado, guys, enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.